3 hours. That's how long I used to spend just researching before writing a single word of a video script. Now, it takes 12 minutes, with the same depth and honestly, sometimes better quality. The tool responsible is Gemini Pro 1.5, not the flashy image generator and not the chatbot everyone already talks about, but a feature buried inside it called the long context window. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that one feature quietly changed how I make content. But here's the part I'm not explaining yet. There's one moment where this workflow can break completely, and if you don't know it's coming, it will waste your entire afternoon. So, stick around, we'll get there. Let's start with what Gemini Pro 1.5 actually is. It's Google's large language model, built for reasoning across huge amounts of text. Most AI tools forget what you told them a few messages ago, but Gemini Pro 1.5 doesn't. It can hold an entire book, dozens of competitor transcripts, or a stack of long PDF reports inside a single conversation, and it still remembers details from the very first page. That's the long context window. Think of it as short-term memory, except instead of remembering a few paragraphs, it remembers hundreds of thousands of words at once. For most people, that sounds technical and forgettable, but for a content creator, it's a research superpower. Let's put a real number on it. Gemini Pro 1.5 can hold roughly 1 million tokens in one conversation. That's close to an entire novel's worth of text, or dozens of full video transcripts, all sitting in the model's memory at the same time. Most other AI tools max out at a fraction of that before they start forgetting your earlier messages. Here's why this matters. Traditionally, researching a topic properly meant opening 10 competitor videos, scrubbing through each one manually, taking notes by hand, and trying to spot patterns across all of them at once. That process eats hours, and most creators skip it entirely, which is exactly why so much content online repeats the same 5 points. With Gemini Pro 1.5, you skip the scrubbing completely. You pull the transcripts of those 10 videos, or grab the PDF of a long report, and then drop the whole thing into one single conversation. Let's actually build this together. Open Gemini and start a new chat. In the input box, upload your first document. This could be a transcript, a PDF, even a long article you saved earlier. Do this for every source you want to compare. 5 sources, 10 sources, it genuinely doesn't matter, because the long context window can hold them all at once. Take a quick look at the interface while you're there. Your uploaded files sit as small attachments above the message box, and the conversation itself scrolls like any normal chat. Nothing complicated. The power isn't in the interface, it's in what happens after you upload. Let's say your topic is a competitor breakdown for an AI tool review. Upload 3 competitor transcripts, 1 long PDF report on the tool's features, and your own past video on a related topic. 4 completely different document types, all inside one conversation. Once everything is loaded, don't just ask it to summarize. That's the beginner mistake, and it wastes the tool's real power. Instead, ask a specific question, something like, compare these transcripts and tell me the 3 angles none of them covered. Watch what happens next. Because it's holding every document simultaneously, it can cross-reference details across all of them at once. It'll point out gaps, angles competitors missed, questions viewers asked in comments that nobody ever answered, and claims that quietly contradict each other. That gap is your video idea. Not a guess, not a hunch, but a gap backed by actual evidence you can point back to. Now here's the advanced move, and this is where most tutorials stop too early. Once you've found your angle, keep that same conversation open and ask it to draft your outline using the sources it just analyzed. Because it remembers everything, it pulls direct comparisons straight into your structure. Here's what channel A got wrong. Here's what channel B left out entirely. Here's the angle only you're covering. Push it further with a second prompt and ask for 5 hook lines based on the strongest gap it found. You're no longer staring at a blank page. You're editing options a research assistant already built for you. Push it one more time and ask it to write your ending call to action, tied directly back to the specific gap you opened with in the hook. Because the whole conversation shares one long context, the ending naturally echoes the opening, and you get a closed loop without manually rewriting your intro to match your outro. That's the entire research phase. 12 minutes, one conversation, every source cross-referenced at once instead of one at a time. Let's talk about the moment this breaks, because I promised you earlier. If you upload too many enormous files at once, or your documents are scanned images instead of real text, the model can lose accuracy on details buried in the middle. It's not a hard limit, it's a soft one. The fix is simple. Keep your sources as clean text where possible. And if you're working with dozens of documents, split them into 2 research passes instead of one giant dump. That's the one warning that saves you an entire afternoon of confusion. And if you're ever unsure whether your source is clean enough, paste a short section back to Gemini and ask it to confirm it can read every word clearly before you build on top of it. Let's cover a real business application. If you run a channel, faceless or on camera, this same method works for content calendars. Upload a month of your own past video transcripts, plus 5 competitor transcripts, and ask Gemini to map out 10 new topics that don't overlap with anything already covered, ranked by which gaps appear most often across the research. You just built a month of content ideas from evidence, not guesswork. This works for more than solo creators too. If you're on a small team, one person can run this exact process and hand the outline package to a scriptwriter or an editor. The research and the reasoning behind every topic choice travel with the outline, so nobody downstream has to guess why a topic was chosen. There's an automation angle worth knowing too. Save this exact prompt structure as a template and reuse it every single week with new sources swapped in. Some creators connect this into a simple workflow tool, so fresh competitor transcripts get pulled in automatically, but you don't need that to start. Manual and consistent beats, automated and abandoned. Here's an expert-level trick almost nobody uses. Ask Gemini to role-play as your toughest competitor's audience and critique your draft outline from their perspective. It's still reading from the same long context of sources, so its objections are grounded in what real competitor content already promised viewers. A common mistake beginners make is uploading sources but never asking a comparative question. If you only ask it to summarize one document at a time, you're not using the long context window at all. You're using a fancier search bar. The entire point is asking it to hold multiple sources in its head at once and find what connects them. One more hidden feature. Ask it to flag outdated claims across your sources, information that was true last year but has since changed. For fast-moving topics like AI tools, that single check can save you from publishing something wrong on day one. There's a second hidden feature worth knowing. Ask it to rank your 5 sources by how much genuinely original information each one contains, versus how much they simply repeat from each other. That single question tells you which sources deserve a deeper second pass, and which ones you can skim and move past. Looking ahead, this long context window keeps expanding. Creators who build research habits around it now will move faster than everyone still doing this manually a year from now. Google keeps pushing that context limit higher with every update, which means the ceiling on how many sources you can compare at once keeps rising too. The workflow you're learning right now only gets more powerful. You won't need to relearn it, you'll just feed it more. So here's your action plan. Pick one topic you want to cover this week. Gather 5 sources, transcripts, articles, PDFs, anything with real substance. Upload them into one Gemini Pro 1.5 conversation. Ask for the gap, not the summary. Build your outline inside that same conversation, then push for the hook lines. And that early promise, the one moment this workflow can go wrong. Now you know it. Keep your sources clean, split large batches, and you'll never hit that wall. 12 minutes of research, one tool, every source cross-referenced at once. That's the entire method. Now go build your next video with it.